Hi, this is Howie, and I'm here to introduce my new channel that I call Brooklyn. Where have you gone? Now, if any of you ever lived in Brooklyn, no matter how far you've moved or where you live now, you all think back to those much simpler days. And when someone comes up to you and they ask you, where are you from? If the answer is Brooklyn, then this is the channel for you. We're going to discuss all the things that made Brooklyn so special. We're going to discuss the schools we went to, the games we played, where we hung out, how our parents raised us. For instance, your block. Your block was the first part of your social life. On any given Saturday, your friends would show up in the morning, ring your bell, five of your best friends all sitting on your doorstep, and when your mother answered the doorbell, they would say, "Can Johnny come out and play?" Of course they did. It happened to all of us. And then you went out and had a great day. So if this sounds like something you might like, then hit that subscribe button and turn on the notification bell so you can get all the new content. So as I was saying, topics that we had in Brooklyn, the street lights. You were outside playing with your friends, started getting dark, and the street lights came on. What did that mean? Well, for a lot of us, it meant you better get yourself home before you were in trouble. It was time to go home and eat dinner. And if you were just a little bit late getting home when that street light came on, somebody's mother would always stick their head out the window, start screaming for them by their name, and you knew that you better move quickly. Another thing in Brooklyn that we always thought about was our teachers. A lot of us had teachers that made a big difference in our lives. They were great. And you look forward to going to school. Or you might have had that one teacher that looked forward to terrorizing the class all during the school year, and you did not want that teacher. But again, those were things that made you remember your times in Brooklyn and how things went. How about the last day of school when that last bell rang and there was a stampede out the door because you knew that summer vacation was waiting for you right there and it was yours? You were free for 2 months to do, well, you thought you could do whatever you want, but that was up to your parents. And then the first day of school when you walked into the next grade and you didn't know what was going to happen, and you said to yourself, what am I in for now? Who knows? You might have been sat down next to your best friend for the rest of your life. Well, that was part of our process and how we lived our lives in Brooklyn. But another great moment is when you got your first two-wheeler and learned how to you learned how to ride it. It was your first taste of freedom. You got on your bike with your friends, ran all over the place, and of course your parents said, "Don't go too far," but you did. You wound up all over the neighborhood. You knew where you're going, you knew where you were, but your parents really didn't know. But that was a time when you were trusted to be all right, and you had a great day. Another thing we could look forward to is one of the Brooklyn pieces of equipment you always had in your pocket was a Spalding. What's a Spalding? You say, well, if you got to ask that question, you're not from Brooklyn. But stay with us. We'll explain it all to you. Spalding was your one thing that you needed, one necessary thing to play hundreds of street games. Anywhere from punch ball to box ball to handball, Chinese handball, hit the penny. You could even invent games, and we often did. But if you didn't have the Spalding, you had the Pensy Pinky. Just as good according to some, but not according to others. And then you could spend hours arguing the merits of each one. And we often did. We'll talk about those things as well. The other thing that happened is your parents would send you to the corner store. Now, the corner store was an interesting place. They knew who you were. They knew your name. They knew what your parents' names were. They knew what cigarettes your parents smoked, and they would sell them to you because they knew that it was for your parents and they could trust you to bring it back to them. Who could forget summer days in the fire hydrant that somebody's father opened up and you spent the whole day running in and out through the water, having a great time, and just not even thinking about anything else. We all did it. We all loved it. Another wonderful thing about your block and Brooklyn back in the day was block parties. It was a day when the block got closed on either end, and you had games, you had music, you had food. It started from early in the morning, it went till after sundown, and everybody was out there. Anyone you knew, anyone that lived on that block was a part of it, because that was part of being on that block. Everyone chipped in, everyone got along. We had a great, great time. Now, all this sounds great, and there's going to be plenty more content to come, but this is an interactive channel. So I'm going to give you a little bit of Brooklyn homework. What I want you to do is in the comments below, tell me what Brooklyn neighborhood you lived in, what schools you went, public school to junior high. Yes, I said junior high. There was no middle school back then. And I also want to know about your high school. Do all that and tell me what other topics you'd like to hear about. Because as I said, this is our Brooklyn memories. I can't do this without you. So tell me what you'd like to hear about, and tell me what we just talked about. And I'll see you on the next topic. Brooklyn, where have you gone?